Hey guys and gals, it's the Ant-Man coming to you. I'm going to do a quick video today on hotkeys and hot buttons. Not just about my particular layout, but also the method behind my madness. I've gotten a few questions about hotkeys and hot buttons from some of you in chat, so I figured I'd do a video covering this topic, and I hope this can help some of you guys out. That said, let me bring in JPEG here I created. It's just a basic keyboard, but what I did is overlaid in blue the corresponding hotkeys that are programmed on my trading platform. And I developed all these using mnemonic devices. For those of you that aren't aware, a mnemonic device, it's just an easy way to remember something. So I figured this would be the best way for me to do this, so it would be easy for me to commit this to memory and accurately recall them on the fly when trying to enter or exit a trade in a timely manner. Yes, but to me, speed is very important, and as I'm sure it is to many traders. After risk management, one of the few things that we can control is speed, especially in a market like this when sometimes there aren't the best setups and sometimes you have to scalp your way in and out of moves. Speed could be essential. It could be the difference between a very profitable trade and a not so profitable trade. It could be the difference between a red trade and a green trade. So for me, speed has always been paramount in trading, especially when I was trading penny stocks. You know, you were in and out in sometimes 10, 15, 20 seconds. You know, talk about a quick scalp. But that was then, and this is now. So let's get started on my particular layout over here. I have the shift key colored in red, and I have the control key colored in green. In my mind and in many traders' minds, the green means buy or cover, and the red means to short or to sell. And since shift begins with the letter S, and so does short, and so does sell, it seemed a good combination, a good mnemonic device. You have S, S, and S all working together to make a really nice mnemonic device. Remember that shift means short or sell, and it's also a really good way to, by having the key colored in red, it's also a good way to visually recall that that's the key for shorting or selling. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the green control key. And control and cover are the same letter of the alphabet, C for control and C for cover, which also can mean buy, because covering, as we all know, is the same as buying. When you cover your position, you're buying back shares. So it's not a perfect match like S, S, and S, but the C, C, and B, it's close enough for my liking. Plus, you have the green visual to remember it by. Let's go up here to the row of numbers, and just for this video, when I refer to the row of numbers, I mean the numbers up here between this odd little backwards apostrophe and the backspace key. I am not referring to the numpad over here. The numpad in certain platforms, like I use Lightspeed and I use DAS, the numpad is a separate set of hotkeys. You can actually program this one to do something different than this one does. This ONE, or this 2 and this 2. So for the intents and purposes of this video, when I refer to the numbers, I'm talking about this number line up here above the letters. And what I have done, I have assigned share position 100 through 900 to the number keys 1 through 9. That makes it easy to remember. 1 is 100, 2 is 200. Just add 2 zeros to the number, and that's your share position. So if I wanted to go short 600 shares, I would just press Shift and 6, and that would get me in short 600 shares. Just as a side note, couple side notes. One, make sure you're in the right level 2, the right montage when you're doing so. I've been there a couple times where I've actually gone short or gone long on the wrong stock. Some in my favor, some against me, but just a word of caution. I know it can be a little hectic when you're trading, trying to get into a trade, tracking a trade. So make sure you're in the right level 2 when you do this. Short 600, right? If I was gonna say I wanted to go long 500, I would hit Control 6, and that would get me in the trade at 600 shares long. Now, all the orders that I have programmed are what are called marketable limit orders. It's basically you're getting in on the ask or the bid with, excuse me, a 3-cent offset, meaning that's the highest that you will, or lowest that you will let the price go, that you will allow a fill for. Any longs I have on the ask plus 3 cents, and any shorts I have on the bid minus 3 cents, which gives me that little bit of leeway to get in the trade. And usually your fills are better than just hitting the bid or trying to get filled at a different price. Because when I see a trade, when I know I want to be in a trade, I want to be in it. And not everyone trades that way. Some prefer to throw out a limit order and see if they get filled. I prefer just to get in on the ask or on the bid. But that's a topic for a different video. I'm just kind of a side note commentary. That said, back to the keyboard here. 100 through 900 are the 1 through 9 keys. I have 1500 and 2500 share positions on the dash and the equal sign respectively. Not that I use these that often, but they are there from when I was in penny stocks. But on some positions I do go 1500, sometimes 225. It really depends on the trade, but they're there in case I need them. Jumping up one row to the function keys, I have 1000 through 5000 programmed on F1 through F5. And as I said earlier, I usually don't take trades up in this area, but I will take the occasional 1 or 2,000 share position if the setup is there and everything works out properly. So say you wanted to go short 2,000 shares, it would be Shift F2. If I wanted to go long 1,000, I would go Control F1. It's that simple, easy to remember, and it's quick, easy keys. Now those were position entry keys. Now I'm going to cover some position exit keys. The same buy and sell hold true, and I have them scattered throughout the keyboard here, also using a mnemonic device to fill a full position order. Would be A for all, A meaning all, so my entire position. If I was long and I wanted to sell my entire position, I would just do Shift and A. And likewise, if I was short and I wanted to cover my entire position, I would go Control and A. And moving on down the line, we have 3/4 position as T for 3/4. Half position under H for half. Quarter position under Q for quarter. And in some instances, if there's like a really big wash or a really big pop and I want to just lock in the majority of my position, or if it's just a really big scalp, I do have a 90% key right here. Now, just as a side note, the 90% hotkey is only available in DAS, as is the 3/4 only available in DAS. But I have this programmed anyway to cover all the bases. I have this written out just how I would have it regardless. Lightspeed does not offer a 3/4 position or a 90% position hotkey program, which, as much as I love that platform, that is one of their shortcomings in my opinion. And that is content for a future video that I have planned. Different brokers such as Lightspeed and interactive brokers through DAS and TOS and all those other fun things. They're all going to be covered in a future video about broker comparisons. But to get back to the topic at hand, the 90% position would be if I was long and there was a big pop and I wanted to cover 90% of my position, I would just hit Shift and N for 90. Also a mnemonically devised key right here. Break-even stop is something that I like to use to lock in green on my position. Once I have a move in place and I want to move my stop to break even, assuring that my position stays green, I will use the B key. And likewise, depending on which side of the trade I'm in, it's either going to be Control B or Shift B. This flip position key right here is a mistake. I do have an updated file I have to find this is under F. It's not under L. So Shift F or Control F will flip your position. Shift F will flip you short if you're long, and Control F will flip you long if you're short. It's not something that I use very often, but it's something that I like to have at my disposal. Additionally, that's also a non-programmable function in Lightspeed, but it is available in DOS. I do have a panic button up here, that's Shift plus Escape. That will close every position I have open, regardless if it's long or short. That's also from DAS. I don't know if this is programmable in Lightspeed, but I will look into it. Let's see. In DAS only, I can hit F11 and it will move my route from ARCA, which is my default, to stop if I want to put in a stop order. And in all my platforms, I do have ARCA set as my default route. ARCA is a few pennies more expensive over the long run, but it also is one of the few routes that trades pre-market and after hours, because I do like to have that option available to me if there is something setting up that I do want to take advantage of in the pre-market or after hours session. And F12 on both my platforms here cancels all open orders. Any orders that are sitting out there that have not been sent, that have not been accepted and filled, F12 will cancel any open orders, long or short. And this little note here on the bottom just says what I had said earlier, that all the orders are sent on the bid or ask, depending on the side of the trade, with a 3-cent offset, which is a marketable limit order. The one other thing that I wanted to bring up is Lightspeed and DAS are the two platforms that I'm the most familiar with, besides Thinkorswim, and Lightspeed and DAS are the ones that I use for my trading for different accounts. So what I will do here also is bring in an image of my Lightspeed hot buttons. In addition to the hotkeys that you just saw, these are my most commonly used hotkeys, so I put them in the form of hot buttons. So in case, for whatever reason, I just want to click, I want to go long 100, boom, I'm long 100. And I get the move I want, and I want to sell half, boom, I sell half. Very easy in, easy out, and I like that a lot about Lightspeed and about Dash Trader that I have for interactive brokers. Very simple setup here, very easy to use. If I'm in, I want to go short 400, boom, short 400. Then I can cover half, and then cover half again, and then exit my full position, which is typical in short trade that I would normally take. And to go one further, I've been talking about is the, where is it? My level 2 montage with my hotkeys programmed on the bottom, the ones I use most commonly. Plus 50, plus 100, plus 200, 400, 800, 1000, and the opposite, and then the full 75, 50, 25 for the long and the short side. So that about covers it for the hotkeys and hot buttons. If anybody has any questions for me, please feel free to hit me up in chat. For those that are Trick Trade members, feel free to leave me a question or a comment in the comments below. You can also hit me up on Twitter at the Tony Manji. And what I will do is I will leave a link to this image of the hotkeys that you can download for your own personal use if you like my layout and you want to mirror it on your own trading setup. And that about does it for me for tonight. So I hope this helps, and have a great night, guys.